Welcome back. It's Sunday in the shop, and right now Q4 is in full effect. Right now I'm in the middle of a bunch of corporate holiday gift orders. The Thunder is pretty much running mini toolboxes full time at the moment, 4 at a time, and I have a ton of walnut coasters to do over here on the Shapeoko CNC. So today I'm going to take you along, show you a little bit of the tooling and a little bit about how I set that up. So come along with me. So right now on this order, I'm running 2 boards at a time. I could run more, but that's just what I'm doing for the moment. They're about 37 inches long, 5.5 inches wide, 5.5, 6 inches wide. I can get 8 off per board, so that's 16 at a time, provided there are no knots or anything. The coasters that I designed are 4 inches by 4 inches square with rounded corners. I think I got a 1/4 inch radius on the corners, and then a 3.5 inch pocket in the middle that's about 400 thousandths deep, so 0.400. The way I have this currently set up is I'm just holding it down with some 3D printed toe clamps. And a while ago, I went ahead and counterbored all these little pockets in my spoil board. I didn't go all the way up because I never need to hold anything that high up. But originally, it was for these cut pieces of PVC to create a fence anywhere I wanted. But once I got a 3D printer, I just started 3D printing these dogs that I can just, and these are low profile. I have some taller ones that I have set aside over here, but these low profile dogs, and I can create a fence anywhere I want. So on this particular board, it's right here, and then here on the end. And then I went ahead and did the same to that one. Then I just measured from this edge to this edge. And then I was able to create in my programming where the placement of the second board was. I could continue to do so further on down the spoil board and place as much as I need to. First things first, tooling on this job. I do this job with, this is what the coaster looks like that I designed. So it's got a nice pocket, nice radius here. This is just raw off the machine, tabs holding it, nothing else. Not sanded or anything. But I use 4 tools for this job. A lot of people use 2 tools for this job, a bull bit and a down shear bit to cut it out. And I've done that in the past, but I do so many of these walnut coasters that I would prefer to get more longevity out of my tooling. So I find from when I programmed it before like that, compared, you have to go a little bit slower with your feeds and speeds doing that, roughing it out as much, and also to try to preserve tooling if you want to. But I use a roughing bit, and then I'm able to go super fast with it. I also use a corner radius bit to do this radius right here first, and then I rough this out, and then I rough out the outside. And I come in with the bull bit, which the bull bit then only has to do a little bit of work, saves the life of the bull bit, and then I come in with the down shear bit and finish cutting it out. Like I said, 4 bits, and getting yourself organized for a job like this, or any job you're running on your CNC, makes life a lot easier if you just get yourself organized with your tooling, especially if you're using more than one tool. So over here, I designed this and 3D printed this, but it just says 1, 2, 3, 4. It's stepped high. This fits perfectly on the side of the Shapeoko right here. But this is, I can lay out my 4 tools and have them all set up ready to go. It's easy then. And then I know which one to grab next. So like I said, this is an 1/8 inch corner rounding. This is from IDC Woodcraft. This comes in first. This is the first bit that calls up, and it comes in and does corner radius for these pockets. After the fact, I don't do it on the outside because later on, just to hit these tabs off and everything, I'm going to put this on the router table and just run it around. So I just flip it over and do both sides. So then I come in with my 1/4 inch rougher. The first thing it does is it roughs out this pocket with a raster, but I don't do it to the full size of the pocket. This bull bit has a 3/16 radius. So I want to leave the radius here. I want to leave meat here for that radius to create the full radius in this pocket. My raster rough is 0.1875, smaller than the full size of the pocket. And then after that, my rougher comes down and I do it just on the inside of the line for the full size, just as a rough out pass there. And I don't do it to full depth. I do it 0.1875 higher than the bottom of my pocket. So that way it leaves a little stepped edge there. That way, after the fact, which I'll discuss it when I get the bull bit has some meat to create that radius. But then the next thing my rougher comes in and it goes around and roughs out all of these, leaving an onion skin on the bottom, leaving about 90 thou, 100 thou down, so 0.1. is about what I leave. So these are 0.750, they're 3/4 inch coasters. I'll go down and I'll leave it at 670, 680 is what my depth is for my rougher. That way it leaves a little bit there, keeps it solid in the board, so that way it doesn't have a chance to move at all. And it's maybe formed to the very top of the tabs there, but that's it. My tabs, I also run them pretty small, and I'll show you why later on. But then the next step after it does all that is to come in with the bowl bit. So the bowl bit, then I don't do a raster, I do a circular, and I go around, go around, go around, and then it's able to just eat all this edge. And then it comes out beautifully. Then when that's all done, it's my downtown Jenny, which currently in my spindle, but when I rough these out on the outside, I leave them with a 30 thou tolerance, so 0.03. So that way, because this roughing bit is serrated on the edges, and that'll leave that on the edge of your coaster, you want the edge of your coaster or whatever your part is nice and smooth. So when I rough, I'll leave it with at least 30 thou tolerance. That way it's not eating the whole thing, and it gives something for your cutout bit, whether you're using a down shear or an upcut or whatever, to leave you with a nice clean finish. But then also you're able to really up your feeds and speeds with that because it's eating so little material. So my downtown Jenny comes in and I'm taking step down of like 300 thou at a time. I could probably just go ahead and take the full cut almost, but I just do it so that way it's like 2 passes, it goes down, eats it all the way through, leaves my tabs. My tabs I typically only do like 100 thou tall, so 0.1 tall and 200 thou wide, and they hold the part perfectly. And then I don't have to use my oscillating tool to come in and cut them out. I can literally take the board, pick it up, and just smack it, and they'll all fall right out. It makes life a lot quicker and easier. All finished up, cut out. Just held in by tabs, ready to break them out. All finished up, like I said, tabs, they're held, but these are super small. They hold it perfectly. I could either just pop them out with my fingers like that, but knock them out. And they're out. So the end result coming off the machine, super smooth, great finish, minimal work now. I pre-sanded the boards beforehand before loading them, but now all it is little light sanding, get any edges off, throw it on the router table, knock the tabs off, get a radius on the backside, flip them over, radius on the top, and then throw them in the Thunder, do an engraving because the engraving on here is kind of detailed, a little bit more detailed than what I want to do on the CNC. It'd be faster to just throw them on the laser as a big batch on a jig, knock them all out, put some sealer on them, they're good to go. So that'll be it for this one. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Remember, keep creating, keep making. I'll catch you on the next one.